Welcome to my channel Arusa's English Stories. Learn English through stories. A fiction. A martyr or a monster. Arusa merchant. Arfana was outside of Muhayman's mansion where her car was parked and was waiting for Yurid. She didn't even bother to go inside to meet Muhayman. She was looking at him offensively. He bent down and moved his face near her. He was glaring at her with anger and looking at Yurid with contempt. Yurid was severely hurt and was in agony.
He killed all our men brutally. Ouch.
You are a monster like your father.
Hazim has a tender heart, but when it comes to someone he loves dearly gets hurt. He would lose his mind and kill everyone responsible like a monster. It happened after Arfana and Hazim married. She was once walking alone in a street where some thugs bothered Arfana. When Hazim reached there to save her, he almost killed them and they were extremely hurt.
Whose fault is it? I told to never hurt someone I hold dear, but you didn't listen to me. Let me ask you, why did you kill her when she had nothing to do with our conflict?
Arfana smirked at his question and replied recklessly. She didn't expect Edazaz would do something that she would regret later.
That woman wasn't telling us where you were when we asked her. She wouldn't have died if she told us where you were, nicely.
Edazaz was looking at her expressionlessly.
Why? Was that old woman that important for you to react like this?
Meanwhile, Yurid was trembling and groaning in pain. Arfana panicked to see him hurt badly and was calling for an ambulance, but Edazaz seized her phone. He abruptly stood from where he was bending down and walked 3 steps backward from Arfana.
It must be easy for you to kill anyone. You didn't even bother to think about what it might feel to lose someone dear to you. Should I make you feel the same pain?
What the hell are you talking about? Give me my phone back.
She began to feel afraid of his word and shouted at him with anger to give her phone back, but he didn't give it back to her. He made her miserable in the situation where she couldn't do anything to save Yurid. She truly not like Yurid. She just thinks of him as an object to use. It's hard to get someone like him who will do anything for her.
How do you feel? Pain? No, he is not important enough for you to feel the same pain as I did. One day I'll take something that is precious to you.
You won't get a chance to make me feel the pain you are talking about because there is no one I hold dear. I only love myself.
You will. I promise you.
He had a painful expression when those said words to her. He walked some steps from her, then stopped to throw her phone and left from there.
He called Yafir Khalsa and they together buried Muhaymin on her land near Muhaymin Mansion. They were standing near her grave where Etazaz decided to go back to Cher and sent Sanaya to Paris to study fashion, which she always dreamed about.
Yafir makes arrangements for Sanaya to send Paris.
No, I don't want to leave you here alone.
He turned his face to glare at her, which made her scared.
Just go. I don't have time to play with you anymore. I'm not doing charity. You are in the way, so I'm just removing you, that's all. Do as I say.
Yafir arranged everything and they sent Sanaya to Paris. At the airport, Etazaz told Yafir to make arrangements for him too.
Yafir makes arrangements for me to return Cher as an heir. I have 4 years to complete all courses, masters and business training to prepare myself as the real successor of Cher Industries.
But young master.
He went silent after seeing his expression. It was the expression which showed he would take revenge for Muhaymin's death. There was a time when Etazaz decided to live his life as a common citizen and would give all Cher's property to Arbaz. Yafir and Muhaymin also wanted the same for him.
Yes, young master.
Strong build, tall height and broad chest. Wearing a brown coat and sunglasses, walking with luggage. Etazaz returned from America after completion of his master's. He has learnt business, politics and every sport necessary for an heir, example swordsmanship, riding, chess rule to win, shouting and swimming, etc. It has been 2 years since Muhaymin died and Sonia went to Paris. Yafir picked him from the airport and took him to the hotel.
Yafir, inform the old man that I'm alive and want to come back to take over Cher Industries. I will have to take personal experience in business before I officially enter Cher as a successor.
Yes, young master.
Yafir informed Fakim Cher that Etazaz was alive and he lied to him on his order. He apologized to him and explained everything. Fakim didn't blame Yafir and was grateful to him for saving Etazaz, his successor.
It has been 4 years and you haven't been able to find anything about that monster Etazaz. Tomorrow is Cher Heir's official coronation party. The old man has definitely hidden something in his sleeve and won't make Arbaz his heir. It all has happened because you failed to get rid of him.
I'm sorry for disappointing you, Arfana.
Arfana turned her face and left the room. Yurid was saved after being taken to the hospital, but she has been behaving like this to Yurid since that day. The party was held in Share Mansion where every shareholder including Harry's Malik joined. Arfana and Arbaz were also there in the party.
Aya Fakim Share as a chairman of Share Industries announced the real heir and successor of our corporation Etazaz Share.
When a Fakim Share announced the Share Industries heir, Etazaz entered the Share Mansion wearing a tuxedo with Yafir Khalsa. Everyone was surprised while Arfana was furious and Arbaz was happy to see Etazaz. Etazaz stepped on the stage where a Fakim Share was standing. Hazim's lawyer came there with legal papers and put them on the podium. He signed on them and the lawyer announced him as the legal heir of Share's property. A Fakim also announced his achievements during the 2 years he worked in the company, hiding behind a mysterious person who made Share Corporation top of 10th industries in the country. Everyone in the party was gathering around and greeting him to make a good relationship with him for the benefits in the future. Arbaz also came to greet him and showed his contentment on his return.
Etazaz, I'm glad you are alive and come back to our house.
Arbaz was genuinely happy to see Etazaz back, but Etazaz wasn't happy to come back to Share Mansion.
House. This mansion is a prison where we are prisoners and have to do exactly what others told you. Just like a prisoner, you have to pay for a crime which you didn't even commit.
Arbaz was a puppet who danced on Arfana's hand. His personality changed during these years. He has a modest personality and tender heart like his father Hazim.
You might be right.
Arfana came to him with a displeased expression which entertained Etazaz more.
Congratulations, you finally become legal heir of Share Industries' 51% shares. You must be happy now.
Not really. Anyways, thank you.
The party was over and he began to live in Share Mansion but in a separate building on the property. Sanaya finished her study in Paris and will return tomorrow.
Young master, will you take her to Share Mansion? I don't think this is a good idea.
Do you have another idea then? She will be safer near me. I can't lose her too.
Yafir agreed to it and they went to the airport to receive her from there. During the trip she hadn't said a word to Etazaz and they reached Share Mansion. Sanaya has become a more beautiful and capable woman.
Wow, this place is quite big. I guess it is as rich as I heard.
Good morning, ma'am.
I hope your trip is comfortable. Please come with me, I'll show you your room. Ma'am.
She is a head maid here. Go with her.
Ha. Okay.
It was new for her to be treated like this. Days passed. She used to it now. Sanaya hardly sees Edazaz since the day she arrived because he left early in the morning and came late at night.
She felt lonely and one day she exploded with anger at Edazaz when he came home late at night. You bastard! If you are going to be like this, it'll be better for me to live alone rather than in this big mansion. Was it really that hard to even have a meal with me like before? I miss those days with you and Grandma.
Edazaz was astonished to see her reaction, and there was Yafir and head maid who were also surprised. Head maid bent her head down while Yafir turned his head and smiled slightly. Edazaz agreed to have dinner daily with her.
It's nice to have meals with you again. You are still the same, never talk much. Anyways, nowadays I'm looking for a job. There are many good fashion houses in the city.
Why bother to look for a job? I'll open your own fashion house.
She smiled and refused him politely.
Edazaz, what you have done for me is already enough. I don't want to bother you anymore.
It's not. I took something more precious from you.
Edazaz always thought he was the reason for Bashir Mahmud's death and felt guilty for Sanaya. He never told Sanaya that her father had worked for him and died to save him. Sanaya's mother died during giving birth to her, and she had been living with her relatives since she was a baby. She hadn't known anything about what her father worked and how he was related to Sher family.
Yafir arranges everything to open a fashion house and gives me a detailed plan in 1 week.
Yes, young master.
Yafir was aware of the reason why he would have to open the fashion house. He never asked the reason for his orders and only acted upon them. He is a loyal and faithful servant of Edazaz. After 1 month, Edazaz called Sanaya to his office.
Hi there. Waiting for a taxi.
Sanaya was waiting on the side of the road for a taxi. She said no to Edazaz when he was sending the car for her. She told him that she would come by herself to his office.
Hi, yes, I'm waiting for a taxi.
She was surprised when Arbaz talked to her. He looked exactly the same as Edazaz, which took her by surprise. Arbaz heard some young woman resident in Edazaz's building. This is the first time they both met each other.
Get in, I'll drop you.
She sat in the car because of curiosity he had about him. She was aware that there was a twin brother of Edazaz in Share Mansion.
Where are you going?
I'm going to meet Edazaz in his office.
Is that so? Did Edazaz call you to his office by himself?
He was surprised by her words because women are not allowed to enter in share companies.
Yes.
Nice. Finally something is going to change in shares.
Yes.
He didn't reply to her and only smiled. They reached the office and entered the Edazaz office together. Edazaz looked at them expressionlessly and asked why they were together.
Did you both come together? Yes. I was coming to the office and offered her a ride. Is that so? Do you have anything to say to me, Arbaz? Yes. This file needs your signature on it. Put it on the desk. I'll sign it later. Anything else? No.
He understood that he meant him to leave, so he left his office. Sanaya felt Edazaz's bitterness for Arbaz.
Sit, Sanaya. I have something for you.
He gave her a key to her new office and papers of its ownership. First it took her by surprise. Later she refused to take it, but Edazaz convinced her.
No, I told you I don't need it. You have already done enough for me.
Take everything I'm giving you. We already promised that we would be there for each other in need of time. Don't go anywhere with him again. I'm buying you a car for your use. Anyway, a fashion house owner must have one.
Okay, thank you.
He was right. They promised each other to always be together, and they are still wearing the cross pendants. She accepted it and began to work in the fashion house he gave her. Arfana found out Edazaz opened a fashion house for Sanaya and was annoyed. When she first found out about Sanaya, she thought finally there was a weakness of Edazaz, but she didn't know Edazaz would do something like this for her.
Hi, can I have a cup of tea and sit here?
Sure, come inside.
Arbaz began to come to Edazaz's residency in the morning to have tea. Sanaya and Arbaz become good friends with time. He even helped in her work, like telling her where best cloth material to find, which marketing campaign and advertisement for her business was good, etc.
I heard nowadays Arbaz comes here to chat with you.
Yes, He comes sometime to have tea with me and help me with my work.
Is that so?
You don't like him, right? Why? He is your brother.
There is no reason for me to like or dislike him.
Silence fell in the dinner room and they both didn't say a word to each other afterward. Sanaya began to talk about Arbaz daily during dinner, which made Etizaz suspicious about Sanaya's feelings for him. After 1 month, Etizaz asked Sanaya why she is so interested in him.
Why do you always talk about him? What is so special in him?
Well, he is an interesting guy, not boring like you.
Do you like him?
No, of course not. I don't like him.
She denied it immediately without thinking a second that he hadn't said as a man. Etizaz began to realize that Sanaya's feelings for him were something more than a friend. He called Arbaz to his office and warned him.
Arbaz, stop coming to my residence and bother Sanaya. Etizaz, I miss you all these years and was alone. Can't I at least come to your residence to meet you and Sanaya? Don't bother. Don't you already have a fiancé? She is just my friend, nothing more.
Etizaz was sitting on the sofa while Arbaz was standing a little far from him. Etizaz stood from there and walked near him.
Yeah, right. Don't make trouble for her. I'm warning you. I don't like to repeat myself, so better act on it.
After that, Arbaz stopped coming to Etizaz's residency. Sanaya began to miss him and finally accepted her feelings for him.
Etizaz, you were right. I like him. I like Arbaz.
He is already engaged and has a fiancé from Khalid's.
Khalid, you mother's side family, right?
Yes.
3 months passed. Sanaya began to get used to the distance between Arbaz and her, though sometimes she still recalled her times with him. It was a very small amount of time she spread with him, but she was enough to fall in love with him. Arbaz is a cheerful and nice man who helps others without accepting anything in return. He is a kind-hearted and talkative person, unlike Etizaz, which was the reason Sanaya was attracted to him. Aruz is a relative daughter of Khalid who is currently the candidate to marry Inshurs and Arbaz's fiancé. Khalid's direct daughter Gulsen ran away from home, so they had to choose someone from their relatives. Aruz is a simple mind and a very beautiful woman.
Hi, my name is Aruz Khalid. I'm Arbaz's fiancé and future daughter-in-law of Sher. I hope you don't mind that I come here. No. What brings you here? I want to buy some clothes for myself and also want to see the woman whose share has invested for the first time in shares history.
No one was aware that Edazaz already gave ownership of Sanaya's fashion house to her except Yafir. Fakim Sher was against it, but Edazaz didn't listen to him. She was telling the truth. She was genuinely curious about Sanaya and hadn't any idea of Arbaz and Sanaya feelings for each other. Sanaya had been succeeding in the past 3 months to grow her fashion house a lot, which surprised everyone in Share. Now her fashion house is well known in the city with the backing of the Share Industries.
There is nothing to be curious about. I'm just running the business as any other person, whether a man or woman, would do.
She smiled and praised her for humble behavior.
You really like your name, worth of praise or admiration. Thank you. You are also like your name, very beautiful.
They have become good friends while Arfana was getting more jealous of her.
That bitch. I never have got the chance to even run my own business, and she runs the business of shares investment. I'll make her and that bastard Edazaz pay for it. I'll make them regret even putting their foot in share property.
On the other hand, Harris Malik wanted to become the managing director of Share's food chain of industries. Edazaz refused to give him the responsibility of such a big chain of Share industries. He appointed the other shareholder the managing director of the same position because he was more capable to manage such responsibility. He was angry and came to Edazaz's office to claim his rights as the second biggest shareholder. He opened the office's door loudly and entered without permission.
Did you reject my request to make me the managing director of food chains and appointed another one who has less shares in Share Industries than me?
I think you forget your manners to not enter someone's office without permission. Yes, I did that. He is capable of handling the position efficiently.
Samin, I'm not. You think you are something because Fakim Share appointed you the CEO of Share Industries.
He didn't reply to him. He stood from the chair and walked to the glass window of the office to stand there, which made him more annoyed.
I'll make you take back your decision.
He left his office and called the board of directors meeting. He convinced the other shareholders to vote to make him managing director of food chains. He promised to give them profit from it. There are 18 shareholders of Share Industries who have the right to vote to change the decision of chairman and CEO together. There were only 4 shareholders who didn't agree with Harris Malik.
So you all want me to change my decision, right? Okay, I agree. He will be the managing director of food chains of Share Industries.
Thank you everyone. I'll not disappoint you.
Harry's was very happy but didn't know that was the biggest mistake made in his life. He would lose everything because of this one decision.
Ha! You shareholders can force me to change my decision. This board of meeting is like a chess board, and you shareholders like pawns played on the board for a king. It is a nice game, but I like killing games more, killing enemies one by one, like killing pawn on the chess board to win the game as a king.
Everyone in the board meeting shuddered and was afraid by his words. That day was the trigger that made Edazaz to get shares of Share Industries in his name by all means. He brought some from giving a fair deal to small shareholders while blackmailing others if they hadn't agreed to give shares nicely. He has also threatened some shareholders to harm them and their family, and only left 4 shareholders who didn't agree with Harry's Malik in the board meeting that day. Edazaz has gotten all 13 shareholders' shares in his name, and the next turn would be Harry's Malik.
Quite luxurious house Harry's Malik, I guess, having 21% shares of Share Industries. This was expected.
Edazaz forced himself to Harry's Malik house and sat in his living room without any prior notification. He came running to the living room and was infuriated by his uninvited visit.
Edazaz share. What do you mean by this?
Stop yelling and sit down, Malik. Let me come to the point. I'm not here to have tea, nor will you offer me one. These papers I put on the table, sign on them and sell me your Share Industries shares.
Have you lost your mind? You think I don't know how you brought all other shareholders' shares on your name? I won't give you my shares even if you kill me.
Ha! So you want to die that badly? Should I kill you?
Harry's Malik was afraid and was staring at him without saying anything.
Don't be scared. You won't be the one I will kill first if there is a need to kill someone one day. He is already on the top of my list. I'm giving you time to decide your future. I hope you make the right decision and won't regret it later, Malik.
Harry's was confused about who he was, the person he was talking about. Edazaz left his house and gave him a chance, which made Yafir wonder why he did that.
Young master, it's not a good idea to let him go like this. He will stab you in the back the moment he gets the chance.
Edazaz turned to look at him and smiled. Yafir wondered what that smile meant. His gut feelings warned him that there was something he already planned and it wouldn't be a good thing.
I heard Edazaz is getting shares in his name and also comes to you. Malik, you want to join hands together and get rid of him too.
Yurid informed Arfana about Edazaz getting shares in his name and went to Malik, who refused to give him his shares. She went to his house to join hands and get rid of Edazaz.
Why will you join hands with me? He is also your son and there is nothing you will get from it.
He is not my son and I hate him. I want to make Arbaz my son the heir of Share Industries. This old saying is, the enemy of enemy is the friend. Let's join hands and we will both benefit from it.
Really? What will I get? I can get rid of him myself.
Ha, fine, I'll give 5% of Share Industries shares. After all, my son has gotten a fair amount of shares in his name.
10%.
7%.
Deal.
They joined hands and decided to kill Edazaz. Continue. We'll upload last chapters of the story in the next video. Please subscribe Arus's English Stories and click bell icon.